Welcome to another episode of A Beer with Atlas. I'm Rich.
I'm Brian.
And Heather.
And Heather is here this week. Heather, why are you here this week?
I just like to get a little Atlas, hang out, good vibes.
And you brought us some beer.
I did.
Like any good visitor to Atlas, you brought us some beer.
Yeah.
Oh, you instantly went to the top of my favorites list after this. So
only your favorite recruiter brings a suitcase of beer with them.
that is absolutely
That's true.
Yeah. And only Southwest would allow you to check a bag for free.
He didn't even check it. That was better than packaging it up and shipping it up.
Yeah.
Totally
There
free.
you go. That's the magic of Southwest.
And HEB.
Okay, so Crawford Bock from, is it Karbach? Karbach?
Mm-hmm. Karbach Brewing.
Karbach Brewing Company in Houston, Texas. Tell me, so you'll see the picture there on the wherever you're listening to it, Spotify or wherever you're listening.
Yep.
It looks like the Houston Astros logo.
It is. This was special made from Karbach for the Astros. Crawford Bock actually plays on our Crawford box, which is where off of third base, if you look straight out, where everybody hits their home runs. So that's where you kind of want to sit, where those home runs hit. So Crawford boxes.
So where all the right-handers tee off then.
Yeah. Yep.
Interesting.
Always in there. So beer.
Is it actually a Bock? Is that what it's...
Yes.
You're the beer drinker.
Yeah, it is.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We do a lot of box down there because we have a lot of Germans.
Down in Texas.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
A lot of Germans. They came in through Galveston. That's a whole nother session.
Up from Mexico, I assume, maybe? From our Cinco
be
de
from
Mayo?
No.
Our last episode
no.
that we talked about.
Different.
No? Okay, well, there you go.
Germans in Mexico.
It's
Hey,
a real thing. You'll hear
laugh.
it.
It's
You'll
a
hear it
real
on the
thing.
internet.
Wow.
Yeah. Listen to the Cinco de Mayo episode. And
Nice.
it's
In
a
the
real
future, in the past, yeah.
Thing. There we go. So on the can, what's even easier than jacking a dinger into the Crawford boxes? How about cracking open a delicious Crawford Bock? I love that.
I like it too.
And then it says recycle, damn it,
It does say that.
on there. Love that.
You know, that's like who's that actor that always used to do the Texas?
George W. Bush?
No, the really cute one that I can't remember.
Oh, Chuck Norris.
No.
Definitely
Oh,
Chuck
wow.
Okay,
Norris.
this is going a whole different sideways. Go.
The all right.
Yes.
Matthew
Matthew K.
McConaughey.
McConaughey.
Yeah.
Yes.
I only
Just
got
had
that off of
He's
the
a
cute
big
one.
He's a big
yeah.
keep
And Texas.
clean kind of guy.
Oh, he's a Longhorns fan, right?
Yeah,
He shows
Austin.
up on the
He used
sidelines.
to-
Yep.
yeah.
All right, so
He sells whiskey.
he's a whiskey guy?
Yeah.
And he sells Buicks,
Oh,
too.
next time I'm going to
Or
bring
no.
you guys in a really good whiskey.
Is it Buick that he's doing?
Yes,
does the
it is
commercials
Buick.
for?
It's like all the Buicks.
Which, if you've ever watched Saturday Night Live, the Jim Carrey parody of those is
pretty
is
good.
hilarious.
I poured mine completely wrong.
No, you're totally fine.
Thanks, Dawn.
So, Brian, I'm super interested to hear your take on, because I know you did a little baseball. I know. Did you do anything on Bach? On a
I
Bach?
did a little bit of Bock. Yeah, you want to start there?
Because not only
We
does
have
that
not done it before.
a balk doesn't just move a runner from one base
Well, that's
to one
a
base.
balk.
The same thing.
The
balk.
weird L.
Balk.
Has that L in it. That's strange,
This
you
is
know?
B-O-C-K.
This is B-O-C-K. It's a German-style beer. Guess what? Imagine that, right?
Thank you, Germany.
So,
Again.
it started in Eisenbach, Germany, in the 1300s. That's the first time I could find history of this style of beer. And then in the 1600s, it had made it to Munich, which is in southern Germany. The language that they spoke, the type of German was different in north versus south at that time.
Okay.
And so when they called it an Einbach, because that's what the town sounded like it was, like Eisenbach. So it was like a pronunciation error.
Okay.
And in the South, Einbach means billy goat. And that was just what the beer was called then at that point in time.
All right.
It's a lager.
Okay.
It's cold. It's like a cold brewed lager, so it's on like being fermented longer time over winter to harsh out some of the extra malts that are in there. It's a little bit hoppier. It's a little bit stronger than like a standard lager that we would drink. Some of those Mexican beers that we had a couple weeks ago. These are usually in the 6 to 7% range alcohol wise. I'm not sure what this one is.
5.6 is what I saw.
There we go. So that's good.
7.
And in the history of this beer, it was usually brought out to consume during Lent in Germany.
Oh, okay.
Because it lined up with A, when the beer was ready, and B, it kind of marked the end of winter and the beginning of spring, and it was like a a clean slate sort of thing.
Oh.
So this was the beer that they brought out to celebrate that sort of stuff. And you might see the term Maibach sometimes. That means it's a little bit lighter than this. And then a Doppelbock is just basically double this. So a little bit stronger, a lot maltier, a little more hops.
Yeah,
this
this
one's kind of right in the middle.
This one's really good, smooth.
Super easy to drink.
Yeah.
Really, it's only 4.5.
Oh,
on here.
4.5.
I looked,
My
but
bad.
and somehow that doesn't surprise me after drinking it. Like it is super smooth, easy to drink.
Kind of got a caramel, biscuity sort of flavor to it. Very good.
You could drink a lot of these, especially at a baseball game.
Yeah, it's almost like a Mexican beer. Like
Almost,
it's
yeah.
got without the citrus. It's good.
So the only other Bock that we've talked about in any length of time on this show was Shiner Bock, which is also down in Texas, which is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
So
How far is that Shiner, Texas from you? Do you know where that is?
I want to say it's about 3 hours.
Okay.
Yep.
that's like 5 minutes from Texas time, right?
Yeah,
It's-
that's exactly right.
10 tops.
Yeah. Texas is virtually its own country anyway. So
Wow.
And it's huge, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
You ready for some Houston Astros stuff I dug up?
I am.
I would love some
So-
Houston Astros stuff.
Now you're a season ticket holder, right?
No, I've never had season tickets.
No?
There's too many games. How are you going to even do that?
That's not even true. at all.
81
yeah,
It's
so
home
many
games
games.
plus the
81.
playoffs
Yeah,
if you're
no,
lucky.
No,
No.
come on.
That's a lot of baseball.
No, we did basketball and we've done the Texans,
Football,
and that was good. But
but no baseball.
even the Texans, it was hard to make it out for all those games. I was like, please somebody
Here,
go.
someone take these
Please
tickets.
go.
It's good to like do a pool with some people, and
Yes.
split them up, and then
Yes.
you can still go.
I think you have to do that with baseball.
So one of the things that my terrible team, the Royals, is doing this year, they're doing a subscription service. So not unlike Netflix, they were paying it's like $29 a month,
Okay.
and you can go to as many games as you can in that month for like $30. But it's like standing ticket, and if you want to upgrade, depending on the game, you can pay $5-10 extra bucks and go.
That's
Get
interesting.
different seats, but they're just trying to get butts in the seats. So I don't think the Astros have that problem. Helps when
can't-
you can win.
I went to y'all's game last year when the Astros played Kansas City. That is a really nice stadium.
It is fun.
It was really good. It was a good time. They didn't like us. There.
So you guys will probably know this, but I went through and I just wanted to talk about a little bit of the history of the team as far as like some of their best players. So we're gonna hit Craig Biggio first, right? He's probably who comes to mind for
He's a classic.
our age, a
Classic.
fan.
Sure. Yeah.
He is the all-time leader in at-bats, total bases, runs, plate appearances, singles, doubles, extra base hits, on-base percentage, hits in general. He had 3,060 outs made, hit by pitch, sacrifice hits. Wow. That's a lot of stat categories to lead a team that's been around for 60 years.
It's no wonder. I remember Berkman, Bagwell, and Biggio just kicking our
Bees.
Killer
ass.
bees, man. Yeah.
Man, they would
Bees.
just kill us. And so I'm not surprised by any of those stats right there.
Yep.
Then we got Jeff Bagwell. He's the all-time leader in RBIs, home runs, intentional walks, sac flies, and double plays grounded into. So he was going to hit it hard. He just couldn't run that fast.
He's the first one that would wear his pants like super loose, like he would
Yeah,
wear
them
like
baggy
the
ones,
Baggy.
the baggy
Like
pants,
softball
yeah.
style.
God, I always hated him for that too.
It really started a trend.
Yeah, he did.
Kind of did, yeah.
There you go.
He is the all-time leader in home runs for the team, 449.
Oh.
And the next closest is 130 less, and that's Lance Berkman.
I hated that guy too.
And then I'll run you down the rest of them and see if there's any of these names that you know. Some of them you will,
Okay.
and some of them I didn't know.
Come on.
Biggio's next, then Jim Wynn.
Nope.
He's an oldie.
Yep. Glenn Davis.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Remember
Yeah.
his baseball cards, I'm
Yep.
guessing?
Yes.
Cesar Cedeno. He was there a long time, and he apparently was pretty fast because he's like their stolen base leader the whole time. Some guy named Bob Watson, I don't know. Jose Cruz.
Yeah.
He was the dad of Jose Cruz junior for us 90s fans. Richard Hidalgo, and then Carlos Lee. Rounds it
Lee,
out. He was
yeah.
only there for a few short years, and he's made the top 10.
Another first baseman, right? Carlos Lee, first
Yeah,
base.
I think so. He was a big guy. I remember that. And then for pitching, the all-time ERA leader, Roger Clemens.
The
good
Rocket
one.
was?
Yes,
Yeah.
he was.
Really?
I looked it
Good.
up. He was there for 3+ seasons.
Yeah.
Towards the end of his career.
Yeah.
He had like 36 wins in 3 years, which isn't too shabby.
No.
Great.
When he was like 38 or 39 years old.
Yep.
The all-time wins leader, Joe Niekro, with 144.
So was Joe the knuckleballer or was that Phil?
I think they both were
They both? Really?
because they both pitched like 20-something years.
Yeah, they pitched forever.
Joe Niekro also is the all-time starts leader for the Astros. So he started over 300 games, and he won almost half of them.
Wow.
So Roy Oswalt,
Yep.
143.
Oh, yeah. It's good.
Mike Scott, we know him from the 80s. He was a teammate with Mr. Glenn Davis. And then Nolan Ryan comes in at number 6 with 106 wins.
Yeah.
Nolan's right. He's from right around where I'm at. He's one city over.
Oh, really?
Alvin, Texas.
Does he still live?
There's actually another player. We could Google it, but there's another one coming up right now. He's a pitcher and he's doing amazing from Alvin.
Like
Alvin,
in your
Texas.
AAA right now or Double A?
No, he's playing in Major Leagues
Oh,
now.
he's playing for the club.
I think he might be playing for Houston. Yeah.
Interesting.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Billy Wagner, he's their all-time
Yep.
saves leader. And then, of course, Mr. Nolan Ryan is leading everybody by a long shot with his strikeouts. So it didn't get a lot of wins, but he struck out everybody, seems like.
He
So
did strike out a lot
almost
of people.
2,000 people in his career with Houston.
Mean heater.
Oh, man, he was great.
So that's my Astros.
Well, you're leaving out the best ones about Correa, Altuve,
That's just
Springer.
current
Those are our
stuff,
youngsters.
you know?
current stuff.
Can't
That's
wait.
okay.
Yeah.
Hope they do good.
I mean, they've, won 100 games 2 years in a row so far?
Yeah.
Looking like 3.
Getting a little bit of a rough start, but we're starting to see our bats.
Yeah.
So
There's a lot of guys on that team that I like a lot. They're just solid ball players. Alex Bregman's a solid ball player. Like Carlos Correa, I don't know how you don't like that guy.
no, a lot
Same
of
with
them.
Altuve. man.
Altuve. It's just
Grinds
like
it
a
out.
good
Yeah.
group of guys that love playing the game and enjoy going out there every day and are nice to the fans. So
Good.
it makes nobody's really a dirt bag.
That's helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you get those ones that get cocky and they're just like,
Yeah.
it's hard.
You don't. What's your right fielder's name? What's his name? George Springer.
Springer.
Springer seems like he has a little chip on his shoulder, maybe a little bit. Maybe.
It's always been kind of a good guy in the Houston area, I think.
And I don't think that's bad. I mean, he's not Joey
Yeah.
Votto, but
He's not Hunter Pence.
yeah, 100 Pence.
Oh, Hunter Pence. Yeah, he's good.
Hunter started off with the
Yep.
Astros, right?
He was with us.
Yeah.
They've had a lot.
I don't
good
think he
players
got
for
a ring
Houston.
with us, though.
No. He went to the Rockies and then no. I'm thinking of
He was
Dexter
in the
Fowler.
Giants for a long time, I know.
Yeah. I'm thinking Dexter Fowler. Dexter Fowler
okay.
started off with you guys too, right?
Yep.
And then went to the Rockies.
Look at all these names.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good players out there.
Boy, I hope if you're listening, you like beer and baseball.
Hey, how can you not like beer and baseball? I think they go
know.
together.
They definitely go together.
So.
Yep.
What do you got for us, Rich?
So I just did some research on the brewery itself. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Crawford Box and like why it's named that and stuff like that. But I'll touch on the brewery information here real quick. Karbach Brewing Company, located at 2032 Karbach Street. I don't know if they just named the street after the brewery.
Probably
or,
once it became good.
Yeah. Houston, Texas. Brewery hours. So they have a full restaurant menu as well as the brewery. The restaurant is open Sunday through Wednesday, 11 to 10, Thursday through Saturday, 11 to 11. Then the brewery hours are slightly different. Sunday, 11 to 10, Monday through Wednesday, 2 to 10, Thursday and Friday, 2:30 to 11, Saturday, 11 to 11. So how do you know exactly? Have you been to this brewery before?
I have not gone to the brewery. I could stay local when I drink, and Houston's scary, so
I got you.
I try.
Have you been to Houston?
I've hardly ever been to Texas.
We should go on a brewery tour.
That could take
It
a
would
while,
take
but yeah.
like at least a week.
Oh, at least.
We'd have to hit like 2 or 3 a day.
Well, it's research, so
Yeah,
we
for
could
sure.
totally do it.
Tax write-off, too, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Dolian, Jamie.
Sure.
We'll document the whole thing.
Yeah, the whole thing. So I'm kind of curious. The brewery looks super nice. It kind of looks. It reminds me of Weldworks in Colorado, kind of polished like that. Has the wood type of thing. The menu, their food menu looks unbelievable.
It's been a while. It's been around for a while. Like that brewery's not a new one. It's a pretty big one in Texas. Karbach.
So how's distribution down there? Because it looks like they do a ton of beers.
It's everywhere.
Everywhere. Like
Yeah, you can pretty much get it wherever you're going.
interesting.
Rich is just going to fly down close to there and then get that cherry and limeade Radler. Oh, my God.
Oh yeah.
That looks so good. So good.
Yeah, like we picked these up at our local HEB. HEB carries everything. I don't know if you've ever experienced HEB. But
No.
it's an experience.
HEB. Heb.
That's Heb.
Heb. What's a heb?
It's a grocery store, but it's huge. It's like a mega grocery store, and they carry everything. Lots of we go through and just pick the beers out, like all of the craft beers. You have to ask Seitner about it. That's where he went. He's like, Why is
interesting.
this available?
Why am I not surprised Seitner's been here?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That was the other. We were just sitting at lunch the other day, and he was like, "Hey, maybe it was today."
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, remember that picture that that Jeremy and Heather posted with all the beers on the chalkboard just like a couple weeks ago?" I said, "Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I was just there. Like he just went there."
Yeah, Craft 96. That's
Ridiculous.
another good one. We've got breweries everywhere on the south side.
Wow.
So from what I could tell, I looked on their website today a little bit too. They have 7 different IPAs on
Wow.
those cans that we saw.
We like IPAs.
I guess so.
I
They have a
guess.
Rosé Brut IPA.
I'll take that right now.
I know. I figured you'd be into that.
If I knew about that ahead of time, I would have
Sounds
had
weird.
you.
I've never had
Oh,
one.
oh man,
It probably is weird, and it's probably good.
Yeah.
Be
Yeah.
very dry.
very dry.
They had Radlers. They had a Kolsch. They had their seasonals. There was a stout. There was that Christmas, like a spiced ale. They had all sorts of stuff to try. Like it would have anybody's palate would be able to be hit in this place.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tons of stuff, and it looked like they showed cans of all of it. So I don't know if they can it all or.
Yeah,
I
you
would
can
guess
get it
they
all.
must,
Yeah,
yeah.
we could probably go up there and just pick up some and bring them back up.
All right. Well, you leave on Friday. I'm going to give you a
Yeah.
list, and then next
Get her
time
a
you come back,
suitcase.
next week you can bring us a suitcase.
I'm coming back with a suitcase.
Boom. There we go.
Okay.
All right. So tell me about the Crawford Box. Like, what is that there at? It's Minute Maid Park still, right? Is that right?
Yeah, it is.
So tell me about that. What left field? Like, what's it like?
Yeah, it's totally left field.
Okay.
Okay, so
It kind of juts out, right?
it's on third base.
Yeah.
Left
It
field.
comes out just a little bit. You've got probably like, I think about 20 rows
Okay.
that just come out there. And it's right underneath where the train goes, like when we hit our
And
bombs.
then there's those brick
Yep.
Yep.
fenced-in area. It looks like next
So
to
it's
it.
just, you
Right.
just sit there and you wait for the balls to come.
Are they cheaper tickets than? Are they regular price?
I think that they're a little bit more than even sitting maybe in your right off of third base. I think it's a little bit more because you have like such an advantage
to
for
get
where
those
you're
home
at.
runs.
Mhm.
Interesting.
And there's like a bar behind it. There's all the eating areas are kind of right back there. So it's kind of like prime seating.
Be great for like batting practice. I
Yeah,
bet.
Springer
Oh,
sits like right
yes.
underneath you and everybody likes to watch
you
Springer
jog Springer and yeah.
jog around.
Interesting. That's.
I think it's more of a girl thing. But
I always wondered if it might be
mean,
like
yeah.
if it's like the rock pile there. Have you been to Coors Field in?
Nope.
Nope. So they've got this special section in left center of Coors Field. It's kind of elevated a little bit, and they're cheaper tickets. Like they at one point, like when the Rockies stunk, they were like $5 a piece.
oh yeah.
But they called it the rock pile, and it was just they have beer specials and all kinds of stuff. But it's right out there in left center.
Well, that's a long way from.
Do you
home
know
plate.
where
Yeah, true.
the Royal Stadium where you guys have the waterfall?
Yeah.
Same spot.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Almost same exact spot.
Okay.
Oh,
That's where
interesting.
we sat when we went to the Royals game.
Out there in the porch
Right.
on that side. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
See, and I remember Kaufman State. This is where the Royals play Kaufman
Mm-hmm.
Stadium. Back when it was just a concrete,
Yeah.
mess. There was just nothing.
Yeah.
And I remember that was the first Major League Baseball game I ever went to. This was when Bo Jackson was still playing.
So yeah, we're talking mid to late 80s. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Kevin Seitzer was
Dating
playing
yourself.
short. It was Steve Balboni. Remember
Oh yeah, he's still our all-time home run leader for a season.
Steve Balboni is
Yeah.
interesting. First base, another first baseman, Frank White and George Brett and guys like that. And
You're hitting me right in
Yeah.
the feels, man.
And
Those are my guys.
we went to that first game and we walked in and it was just all concrete and I thought,
Hot as hell, probably.
oh, so hot.
that
It was
really
like
crappy
July,
AstroTurf.
It's really hot.
garbage.
Yeah.
And I thought this is a Major League Baseball game.
Hell yeah, it is.
Oh man,
For us tough ones, yeah.
I
it is.
guess. But then I have since gone back a number of times. They've done a lot of renovations.
Oh
there,
yeah,
and
they
it's
spent
looks good.
millions of dollars.
And everybody's in blue. That was like the weirdest thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
That huge stadium across the street. It's like that's where everybody goes on the weekends.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So
pretty cool.
how many games? I know now your husband's a very big fan too.
Yeah.
Like how many games do you make it to a year?
I mean, what we've been trying to do is get on into the out of state games or the out of our city games to see other like fields. We really like that. That was fun. We went to Oakland and then we came here and
Oakland, how was that?
Oakland was bad. What was really cool about Oakland is such an old stadium, so you get that like old this is how baseball used to be played. So it was nice. And the Royals was almost the same way. It's just like an open stadium. Like you don't get a lot of fluff. It is what it is, and that's the way the game was played. When you look at what Texas Rangers are doing. Like the Ranger Stadium's beautiful and it looks cathedral-ish, but they're going to go and they have whole another stadium they're building right now that's going to look like the dome that they have already, which isn't fun to me. I mean, ours in Houston, it stays closed all the time. Like we have an open stadium, but it always stays closed because it's so hot. So it's like, what's the point? You know, like
It's like
I guess
get back to baseball where you're sweating outside and you have to drink beer.
I never realized it was technically open, or it could.
Oh yeah, ours can open for sure.
no, that's not baseball to me though.
I know, and that's what.
Like Miller
I like
Park
when
up
it's
in Wrigley North there in Milwaukee. Yeah, that's.
I'd love to go there someday.
I want to go there someday too. That's fun.
I'd love to ride down the slide.
I sent a nurse to go do that. The
Really?
Brewers,
Yeah.
that was her like dream, and we got her in on it. And she rode, the Brewer slide.
That's cool.
It's cool.
Can you ride the train in the outfield there at
No,
Minute Maid? You
no,
can't?
only the conductors up there. It's like really high.
Yeah.
When those bombs hit, like sometimes they hit that train, and you know it's a good one. Like that would have been out of the park in any other field.
Why did they take in center field?
Oh, yeah.
There was that weird little triangle. Do you remember
The
that?
hill. You
They
went
brought
right
it
up
in.
the hill.
They
Yeah.
brought it in.
With the flagpole.
Yeah.
In the
That's-
middle of it.
That was some old school design somewhere. It's a
Super
tribute to.
weird.
I really think people just were getting hurt on it. Like,
think
how
so,
can
too.
you
Yeah.
not just like run into that and hurt yourself? And it like brought in a lot of those runs that wouldn't have scored home runs.
True.
That was like if you could just bomb it right there, you were making it.
Yeah.
You know, it was easy.
You get the weird carom off
Yeah.
the wall there, and it was, yeah.
It was easy.
Definitely has to have one of the most interesting outfields in the baseball. That stadium.
You know, they redid that stadium in Florida so that we could practice at it. It looks exactly like Minute Maid out in Florida for our preseason.
Where you play spring training? Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought you meant the Marlins there for a second.
Yeah.
No. Sorry.
Yeah, so you
Our
could
training.
practice there.
An American League team can own it. Nobody else is going.
Still a team there?
Poor Marlins.
Yeah, they're the only team worse than us right now.
Aren't they the Rays or is that their subsidiary?
No, Miami. Miami Marlins and the Tampa Bay Rays.
We just had this
Rays.
conversation before you came in here.
Oh, well,
about-
sorry I missed it.
Dolan thought they were still the Devil Rays.
Yes, the Devil Rays back from that movie.
He wished they were the Devil Rays, I think. He likes a little evil stuff now and
I
again.
think so. I think he does too. Well, I mean, he's in a band. He's
I know, he's
virtually-
got a tattoo.
He worships Satan.
He must
I
be
don't-
something like that. He's a hardcore guy.
Right.
We're going to
Listen,
hear some really good poetry out of this guy soon.
someday.
be.
Maybe you never
Oh,
know.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've already started.
Oh, there you
He's
go.
doing it right now, I think.
I've
There
said
you
a
go.
lot of mean things to Dolan over the years.
Yeah.
Or over the
He's
past year.
storing them
It's-
all up for his
Oh, yeah, they're-
memoirs.
They're all on record. That's unfortunate for you.
It is true. That's true. Interesting. So,
All right.
is
You
that
ready for this?
hit
Dude,
me.
I haven't even hit my research yet.
Yeah.
It says, did you happen to see what it pairs with, this beer?
I
I wrote it down.
Okay.
They suggest pairing it with ballpark hot dogs,
Yes.
Why not?
Cracker Jacks, peanuts, nachos, and the seventh inning stretch.
And the Blue Bonnet song, like, the Texas stars at night are big and bright. Deep in the heart of Texas.
I know that from Pee Wee's Big
Pee-wee.
Adventure.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Not from Texas. So I did a little research today on Cracker Jacks. So I was like, hey, it's
Oh,
paired
love
with
Cracker
that. Let's
Jacks.
find out about it, you
I
know?
love this.
It's called the greatest snack ever made. It says it right on the box or the bag if you buy it in the store now. Guess what? It was a German guy that made it.
Gosh.
Can you believe it?
Those Germans are awesome.
He showed up to your town, Chicago,
Yep.
after the fire, 1872. He rolls into town. He's going to help clean up, and he's going to sell some popcorn on the corner to help,
of course.
make ends meet, right? And his brother ends up coming and meeting him, and they have a little family business. They start making this recipe, which is basically popcorn, peanuts, and molasses, and they melt it all together, and they have this delicious snack. First time it's ever sold in public, 1893 at the Chicago World's Fair.
1893.
1893.
Okay.
Wow.
And they called it. This is so catchy. Are you ready?
Yep.
Candied popcorn and peanuts.
That was original.
Get your
yeah.
candied popcorn and peanuts.
See, it
That's
sounds
really
good.
long.
It is.
long.
It worked.
The other things that were at the Chicago World's Fair that year for the first time: the Ferris wheel, Aunt Jemima pancakes,
What?
ice cream cone. First time they had ice cream cone.
Really?
Awesome tie-in, not related to this beer, but there's a book called Devil in White City. It's like a historical, I guess it's a historical book about the Chicago World's Fair and slash, make sure the slash is there, a big slash, one of the at least United States' biggest serial killers of all time tied in the same time. And they're making it a movie. It's been for a long time. People have been trying to buy the rights to this book. It's amazing. So such a great book.
Who was the killer?
Oh, yeah.
Because I like that kind of stuff.
I can't think of the name off the top of my head, but he owned this, he bought a business. It was like a jewelry business, and he bought a building on top of it in Chicago, and then he killed the people that were the business owners on the bottom level, and started making the business one big thing. So he kept buying things on the street and making it a bigger and bigger place with it. And his thought was to make it into a hotel for all these people that were going to come to the World's Fair. And then he built all these rooms that you couldn't get in or out of, and he had these trap doors
like
and
a nightmare.
all sorts of places that you could cut open bodies and dismember them. And he killed a couple of his wives, and I don't think they ever really caught him, but
didn't really catch him.
no, I don't think so.
I hope he got stuck in one of those rooms.
I know he definitely got out of Chicago. It's been so long since I read the book.
He went back to Germany.
He might have. He kept going west. He had a whole bunch of different identities, and it was before, it was kind of the beginning of forensics, like fingerprints and stuff were being used and that sort of stuff.
Do you know?
1893.
1893.
So it's an awesome book. Wow. It's an audio book if you like to do those sorts of things. But I read it years and years ago.
Interesting.
And I think DiCaprio bought the rights to make it into a movie.
Yes.
I think.
I love him.
But that's tied into the same stuff. So this is the same time of when this Cracker Jack stuff is happening. In 1896, they registered the name as a Cracker Jack, which was a saying back then that meant it was good or awesome, basically. So Cracker Jack was like, that is really great. That's Cracker Jack. That's what they would say.
We
and
should
because
start
the snack,
that
the
Totally
snack was
start that
Cracker
again.
Jack,
Cracker Jack,
they
man.
called it that. In 1916, the kid and the dog end up on the packaging.
Yeah.
His name was Sailor Jack, and the dog's name was Bingo. Sailor Jack was the grandson, modeled after the grandson of the guy that created the snack in the 1870s.
Chicago has nothing to do with sailing.
No, he was just in a sailor outfit, that picture. Sad to say, he died 6 months later. Pneumonia. But the image that they used has been on it ever since.
Yeah.
And his grandfather loved that image so much he had it carved on his own gravestone when he died. And it's in the Chicago
Love that kid.
famous cemetery in Chicago. You can see his
What about
gravestone
the
there.
prizes inside? You got some info on that?
Let's do it. I do. Are you ready for this? Let me turn my page
I
here.
love
A lot of people got their wedding rings from that box.
I've heard that.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I just love the dog's name was Bingo.
Bingo. Bingo. If you want to sing that.
All right.
Let's see. Okay.
turn.
The dog's name was Russell, by the way, the real dog.
RUSSELL? Are you? No.
Not as
Don't
cool
work the
as
same?
Bingo.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't work.
Let's see. Let me get to my other things. 1896, they created packaging the box to keep it separate, the peanuts and the popcorn, because it was getting all stuck together and weird.
Okay.
And then in 1899, that packaging, the molasses was eating through the box. So they're like, well, we've got a new way. So they put it
probably
in a
killed
bag
people.
in a box. Probably. I'm guessing so.
Yeah.
Cancer or something.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. 1908, Take Me Out to the Ballgame is written.
Okay.
And that's written by a dude who's 29 years old in New York City. He's a vaudeville performer. He'd never, ever been to a baseball game in his life. He was on the 9th Avenue train going to where he was doing a performance. There was a poster in the train station, I guess.
Sure.
And it was a poster for the Polo Grounds where the New York Giants played baseball. And he wrote it on the train on the way to work. Puts Cracker Jack in it. It's tied to baseball ever since.
He was never
At that
at
time,
a game.
had never been to a game.
Wow.
In 1910, they started putting coupons in the Cracker Jacks. So you could collect them, and if you got a certain amount of them, then you could send them in. And they had a catalog, and you could pick household items and stuff like that. So it was geared towards adults. And that lasted about 2 years, and then they started putting in toys. And they did that all the way up until 2016. But not until the 90s. From the 90s to 2016, it was just like Bazooka Joe comics and like paper stuff. They just cut the cost way back.
Yep.
And then in like the 2009 to 2011, they just put in like redemption codes for internet stuff. So it wasn't even anything at all.
Oh, I like the rings.
People collect that stuff.
Yes.
There's a big market for those prizes. I looked at a website of some guy that has more than anybody in the world. He has written a book. There's like 3 or 4 books, like price guides about the different things.
Wow.
Let's see what else.
There were baseball cards in there for a couple of years too.
Guess what?
The little
1914.
hologrammy ones. Remember the holograms?
Those
I
I
don't
do
know. They
remember
used to
those.
put those.
These are old timey though. These
1914 and 1915, they had a card set. And if you could have one, if you had a full card set, it's worth $100,000 right now.
Yep.
And one of those cards is Christy Matheson. And if that's a mint, that one alone is worth $40,000.
Oh yeah.
But the other players they had was Hannes Wagner, Ty Cobb, and Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Shoeless Joe
One of the
Jackson.
first Joe Jackson cards was in that set.
Before the kid and the dog were on it, their mascot was 2 brown bears.
Okay.
So kind of like the Cubs brown bear, maybe.
Interesting.
They had a postcard in 1907, and it was just 2 bears and a picture of Teddy Roosevelt with a gun, and it said, "Please don't shoot us, Mr. President." And that was their advertising for Cracker Jack back then.
Teddy liked to hunt.
He did.
Politics
He was
all the way.
most famous American at that time. 1964, the Borden Company bought out Cracker Jack.
Okay.
And then in 1997, Frito-Lay took over. And there was this conspiracy for a long time that was finally proven that the amount of peanuts, and I'm going to say that very carefully, the amount of peanuts was dwindling in the boxes.
For sure. I remember that.
So they went and they did a little independent research study, and they found out in the 20s there was 25 to 30 peanuts per box.
Per capita.
And when Borden's owned the company, when they made it, there was 12 to 15.
Oh.
And Frito-Lay, there's 6 to 8.
Ow.
And then they started complaining about it on the internet, as you can do, and they bumped
Jack
it up a
that
little bit.
Peanuts up.
They
Yeah.
did, and then they've kind of fallen off. And in 2004, this is the last baseball tie-in I have for this. The New York Yankees, boo. They said, you know what, Cracker Jack, F you.
What?
F you. Crunch and Munch is where it's at.
Oh.
Bring in the Crunch and Munch, because guess what? By that time, Cracker Jack's in a bag. And they're like, this is not baseball. We need it in a box. Crunch and Munch is in the box. Give it to us.
What?
And the fans said, F you.
Oh.
Good.
We want the Cracker Jack back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even though it sucks and we don't get toys no more.
It's part of baseball lore.
Crunch and
It's-
Munch was there for about 6 weeks.
Take Crunch and
And then
Munch.
they were out.
Take that, George Steinbrenner.
Yeah.
Was he still around?
Nothing happens good in
That or
New
his
York.
ghost. No, I don't think so.
Gosh.
So that's what I know about Cracker Jack.
Interesting.
This is a fun.
You can
little
make it at home,
tidbit.
by the way. I got an Alton Brown recipe if you're into that sort of thing. You can make it at home very
Brown.
easily.
I like me some
That'd
Alton
be
Brown.
good.
It's like four ingredients.
It's a lot of brown sugar, right?
And
Yes.
in molasses, brown sugar,
Yes.
molasses,
Yeah.
popcorn, peanuts.
That's pretty much it.
That's pretty
Boom.
much it. Are they still using molasses then? I mean, is that still part of the process, I assume?
I think it's more
Butter and brown sugar.
fruit. What do you
Corn
call that?
syrup.
Corn syrup.
Corn
that
syrup.
Budweiser doesn't like to use.
Yeah. Nothing stays the same, I guess. Nothing stays the same.
No, except for Cracker Jack. People seem to still like it for baseball.
I
I
don't-
don't know if they sell it. I know they don't. Well, I don't know. I guess I can't say that. I don't know if they don't sell it like in Omaha.
Oh, yeah, there's Cracker Jack here. Oh, yeah.
Is there?
Did you
a
guys
stadium?
know that this benefits the Astros Foundation?
Oh.
Tell us about
Look
it.
at you reading the can.
I was just saying, we just put a little bit of money back into the
So-
Astros Foundation.
So, like, they're
I'm
charitable?
sure, yeah, they're charitable. They go out and help Houston be Houston.
I'd drink another one if there was one in front of me right now. I thought it was good.
Yeah, it was
I
very
brought a
good.
6-pack.
Very light.
Yeah. So let's look up let's check out the old Untapped.
Yeah, let's see it.
See what it says.
What's that?
Untapped?
Yeah.
Oh, you
Oh,
need
it's Facebook for
Yeah.
beer nerds.
Oh, okay.
It's
Okay.
great.
yeah.
Dolan showed us all about it.
Totally. Okay, so 3,387 ratings. What do you think this
3,000?
3,000.
That's more than Biggio's hits.
Yeah.
3,060.
of
I'm going to
people-
say this is a 3.64.
That is ridiculous. 3.63.
Holy
What?
crow.
What?
That was close.
Out of
That's
5 is this
crazy.
like
Out of 5.
stars?
Yeah, out of
Yeah,
five.
out of 5.
That's not a bad rating.
No,
That's
no,
real good.
not at all.
really
15
good.
IBUs on this. I didn't see that on the can. So,
I don't know what that means.
bitterness.
The
Oh, it wasn't bitter at
International
all.
Unit.
Yeah, not bitter.
Yeah, it was not bitter at all.
Not one bit.
Wow.
So, Mr. 5 over there, what are you going to rate this thing then?
I think I'd go 3.75 on
Yeah,
this one.
that's what I was going to do as well.
So I'm gonna be a total newbie, like a noob beer drinker.
Yeah.
I like my blondes, and
Okay,
I
yeah.
can kind of drink stouts and all of that. Like, where would this how does a blonde measure up as far as like your alcohol by volume? Are those like 2s?
Oh,
No. at least if it has alcohol in it, if they're going to call it a beer,
Yeah.
it has to at least be like 4.5.
Oh, okay. So that's why I was
So
like, this is good. I could drink this all the time
'Cause
because
you're
I
probably-
mostly go like blondes
Yeah.
or.
So the only difference really is just
Coffee. Okay.
the flavor profile, the maltiness of it, and the color.
Yep.
Otherwise,
That's good.
alcohol content should be very similar to what
Okay.
you're used to.
Perfect.
Yeah, so you could, if you
Yeah, this
hadn't-
is a very easy beer to drink. For sure.
I could, for sure, it was really good.
So as we've talked about gateway beers
Yeah.
before, right? What gets you started into other ones or
Yeah.
whatever. So if you drink blondes or lighter colored ones, the Bock might scare some people away.
Because you automatically go to those heavy box.
They think it's a dark,
Yeah.
right? And that is definitely not the case
Yep.
here.
It was good.
Not one bit. I think maybe the 4.5% would kind of give you a clue that it's not.
It should,
That.
If you know what that is, then that'll tell you right away kind of what you're getting into.
Yep.
I do like that it specifies on there that it's beer as well, for whatever reason. That must be some weird Texas law.
What do you mean?
Right,
It
look,
has to say
look
beer
underneath.
right on the can.
Yeah, you see where it says
beer.
It just says beer.
Yeah, beer.
Right
I
there.
think, isn't that something up here too? Like, wasn't
Yeah.
Scott talking about that they have to have that on their logos or their labels? It has to say beers on it somewhere or
Yes.
something like that. So
Yeah, and I can't remember what exactly
it
it
might
was,
just be
but-
the FDA or whatever.
Whoever
Whoever
those-
that stuff.
yes, government agency.
Yeah, I bet
whatever,
you if
so.
we looked, I bet it says beer on
Beer.
most all those
On
things.
all of
I mean,
them. Like,
probably
just
would.
make sure you're drinking a beer.
Yeah.
Well, I
Did they sell that at the Astros game?
I would assume, yes. Karbach's probably got a good foothold in there.
I'll have to next time I see on the TV, I'll see if I see any other signs or
see
something.
any
on
of
there,
that?
yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't be hard to miss.
Yep.
That's one of those old school kind of logos too. Remember those
I
old
love
uniforms,
this.
like
This is-
early
yeah.
'80s sort of
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
It's a good.
Where the ball coming out of the Astrodome.
Yeah.
That yes. Yeah. All right. Well, Heather,
Colors.
thank you for joining us,
Yeah.
No, thank you.
thanks.
That was fun.
and thanks for bringing us the beer.
We'll
So
bring you more beer.
I'll make you a list for next time. Then.
Absolutely.
All right.
I aim to please.
All right. We'll see
All
you
right.
next week.
Okay.